What is up, boys and girls? How are we doing out there? All right, let's see. It looks like we're live. Let's do this. Let me see where y'all are at. I'm just going to double check that it's working on all platforms. It seems like it is. If you guys can hear me, please let me know. Give me something in the chat just so I know that we're ready to roll. I'm super pumped for today's training. I got some good stuff for y'all. Let me just verify that we're all good, that you guys can hear and we're live. Sweet. Okay. Seeing that's working. Let me double check YouTube and then we'll roll. All right. What's up, everyone? What's up? What's up? What's up? It looks like YouTube's rocking and rolling here. All right. I hear audio. I think we're good. All right. So with this said, I'm really excited for today. Obviously, ChatGPT is kind of taking the world by storm, and ChatGPT is easily one of my favorite things to talk about and play with right now. Like, I find it so mind-bogglingly fascinating. I really am excited at the potential of what it is. We did some behind-the-scenes training yesterday with sales reps in our ecosystem, and we covered some advanced stuff with them. But what I found was really fascinating is how many sales reps and how many business owners still haven't really gotten around to playing with ChatGPT and seeing what the possibilities are when you are using it. So I know a lot of you guys have asked questions too about, how much does it cost? Oh, I can never get on. So I'm going to show you guys some little hacks that I've found work really well, and some ways to frame everything overall with, like, when you're playing with ChatGPT. But if you're a sales rep, if you're a business owner, if you're in high ticket sales, ChatGPT is like easily one of the biggest opportunities to amplify your leverage, to do way more with less, to be able to increase your income, to be able to really increase your foothold and your impact out there, and do it in a way that it gives you a lot of leverage, right? And it requires very little labor. It requires very little time and energy. And so with this video, what we're going to cover is I'm going to run through 4 different ways that you guys can leverage ChatGPT in order to start to build passive income for yourselves. And especially I'm going to be looking at it from the perspective of you guys being sales reps, or you guys being business owners, and your core competency, your core skill is in sales, your core skill, like if this is the game that you love, if you consider yourself a marketer, if you consider yourself a salesperson, if you consider yourself an entrepreneur or a business owner or someone who's in high ticket sales, well, we're going to apply a lot of what we know with ChatGPT, and we're going to watch how this comes together in a really cool way. So the first way that you guys can really start to leverage ChatGPT is to leverage it in a way that you build email automations. So one of my favorite tools in the entire world is the autoresponder. The autoresponder is just magical. Like, if you guys don't use autoresponders, and so many people are like worried about paying $100 a month or a couple $100 a month to some like email campaign company. And a lot of you guys may ask who we use. We use Campaign Refinery. I'm a big advocate of them. Their open rates are amazing. And I'm super happy that like we switched over to them from Active Campaign. But once you have an autoresponder, what that does is it allows you to make offers all of the time. 24/7. If you're asleep, you can still make offers, right? So I still send out emails when I'm asleep, and those emails make me money based off of autoresponder sequences. Once you guys have the art of sales and you've mastered sales as a skill, well, all we're doing when you're writing copy or you're writing emails is you're taking that sales skill and you're transferring it into print, right? Because copywriting is purely salesmanship in print. That's all it is. If you guys know how to sell, then you can write copy. And if you're not taking your thoughts, taking your words, and you're not documenting them in the form of written word or video or media, then you are just undermining your ability to get to where you want to go. Because the reality of it is you need to have leverage, and writing things down and recording videos will give you massive amounts of leverage, and it helps you scale your sales skill, right? So once you have that skill of sales, Then we take it, we put it into emails, and I'll give you a couple examples of some emails I've written. In fact, I'm going to share my screen right now, and I'll show you guys a couple emails I wrote yesterday. And this will give you a good idea. So like, this is stuff that I would say on the phones, you know, or I would say to someone. And let's share my screen really fast. All right. Can you guys see my screen? It should have, yeah, it looks like it's good to go. Okay, so I put together this email the other day, and it said, fired another high-ticket salesperson. If you've been trying to find the right person, but it hasn't worked, maybe you feel like Charlie here. I'm a huge It's Always Sunny fan, and like, I know our audience loves this type of stuff. So 6-figure coaches trying to figure out why their last high-ticket closer didn't work. So it's funny, right? If that resonates, reply with the word rockstar, and we can see if you have what we need to scale fast. Recently, we helped a client get off the phones, and her new sales reps did 6 figures in only 5 weeks. Check out her story. Get your proven 7-figure salesperson in 7 days, guaranteed. Now, what are you waiting for? All you have to do is hit reply, send the word rockstar, right? So I sent this email out. It got me 3 really qualified leads off of it, and high intent responses, right? And so this is a good example. Now, when you stack these up, and if you do this consistently for a period of time, you'll end up with a lot of bangers that you know just work amazingly, right? And so what we do is we'll take those bangers and put them into a sequence. And so like with, for example, when someone opts in, we have a 40-day email sequence with like a lot of our best time-tested, proven emails that someone will roll straight into that. And so that's a way that I'm able to generate leads, generate sales calls, or generate sales while I'm asleep. And so this is one way that you guys can leverage ChatGPT in order to build passive income. So you take your sales ability, you turn it into emails, right? And you send emails like this, and you turn it into an autoresponder sequence. There's this idea that I came across a long time ago with Perry Marshall. And so Perry Marshall talks about this idea. He called them mazes. And when you have a maze is basically like an offer sequence or a campaign sequence. So you build this whole campaign sequence, and then once you have a good campaign, then you just solidify that in an autoresponder. And then what you can do, there's some really cool stuff too. You guys can send emails that are sort of like a hand raiser. When someone opens or clicks a link in that email, it will then drop them into an autoresponder sequence, and then you're able to continue getting more sales off of that just completely passively. If you guys have low ticket offers, you could sell low ticket offers. If you have high ticket offers, you could book sales calls. But it's one of the ways that you guys can use ChatGPT in order to have predictable leads coming in or predictable sales coming in on offers straight off of email. So that is one way. Now, let's look at the second way. So what is the second way that we can leverage ChatGPT in order to generate passive income? Well, it's the same thing, right? It's the exact same thing. The only difference is we're going to do it in Instagram stories or Facebook stories, and we're going to put good offers in the highlights as a way to do that. So I'm going to give you a quick example too of what that might look like for you to get a feel for it. So let me go here. I'm going to pull up and share my screen so you guys can see it. Just give me a moment as I'm pulling it up. Okay, sweet. So here we are. Boom. You guys should see my screen. Now in here, I got my profile, right? Someone hits my profile. Obviously, I want to make an offer. If I make an offer, then I can convert that and I can get a sale, right? So here's an example where basically I wrote this out. This is an entire sequence similar to what you saw in an email, right? Boom. It tells the story. Right. So, and I use a very specific framework here to tell this story, which I love this framework, right? So it starts with the situation, right? So I have a good hook, then it goes situation, problem, right? Idea or discovery. I have a little objection there. Then let's do it. Boom. Then you have the again, like sort of a unexpected problem, result. Boom. and then here's my offer, DM for the link, right? So, and a lot of times people will just come in straight off of that offer sequence and buy. So, and then I have the testimonials to capture it. So that's one way that you guys can leverage this again in order to build up your passive income. So now we have two ways that we've been able to take this, create content, and then use that content in order to consistently generate sales. And all we're doing is we're building off our ability to sell, right? We're building off our ability to connect with someone, to understand their problems, to help them solve their problems. And through that, then we are able to start to just have systems that do the work automatically, right? And if you guys remember the keys of the kingdom, right? If you guys have been around, I want you to drop the keys of the kingdom in the chat. If you don't know the keys of the kingdom, I'm going to run through it really fast for you guys, just because this helps you understand the frame of mind and how and why we do things the way we do, right? So the keys of the kingdom is something my dad shared with me when I graduated college, and it changed my life. It changed my trajectory completely. And so we had the conversation, and my dad asked me the question that every college kid who doesn't have a job secretly dreads. But I was excited for it, right? So my dad asked me the question of, so what are you going to do? And I pitched him on my idea. I wanted my dad to be my first investor. And my dad just laughed at me, and he was like, ah. And I was like, what's so funny? He's like, I don't think you get it, dude. And I was like, what do you mean I don't get it? He's like, you're cut off. And I was like, what do you mean cut off? He's like, I mean, no money, honey, you're cut off, right? And so then he was like, you have two options from here. First, you can get a job and build your business at night, or second, you can get a career, right? And a career is going to demand all of you. And I said, all right, I'll get a job and I'll build my business at night. And then he told me this, and these are the keys of the kingdom. He said, okay, cool. If you're going to do that, first you need to learn how to serve. You need to understand what people want and how to give them what they want. Second, you need to learn how to sell. Right? When someone has something they want, you have to be able to exchange that for money or goods and services, basically. So you have to be able to create transactions. Once you can consistently create transactions, then you third need to learn how to sell and build, or serve and build systems. So service, sales, systems. Those are the keys of the kingdom, right? So you first need to learn how to serve. You second need to learn how to sell, and you third need to learn how to build systems. So that's what we're doing with this, basically, is we're systematizing our ability to sell using the power of ChatGPT. So boom, whether it's your email autoresponder or it's your story sequence on your profile, when you have traffic that's visiting your profiles, when you have traffic that's opting into your email list, then you're able to convert that attention into buyers and into hyper qualified leads for yourselves, right? So y'all with me so far? I'm really excited. I hope you guys are feeling it and that you guys are rolling with me. Just give me a fire emoji in the chat. And if you're on the replay, drop a replay in the chat as well. I love the feedback, and any questions you guys have too, feel free to ask. I'm going to keep my eye on the chat a little bit, and I may pop in and out of it. So if you do have questions, I would be more than happy to answer any of them, and just make sure you guys get what you need. Sweet. So let's keep this rolling. Now, the third option, or the third way that you guys can leverage ChatGPT in order to start generating passive income, is through YouTube automation, right? So YouTube automation is really powerful. It's pretty mind-blowing how much it's blowing up, but it's with good reason, right? So ultimately, right now, this is real estate. Every piece of content you have is a piece of digital real estate, right? So we're arbitraging attention. That's all we're doing. Like, if you look at the big companies, they're just in the business of attention. If Facebook's in the business of attention, Google's in the business of attention, like, people are arbitraging and buying and selling attention. Even Apple's into advertising, they buy and sell attention. So attention is the real value. Like, that's the most valuable resource. So you almost want to think of yourself like a broadcaster, or like a radio network, like you want to think of yourself like, for example, you're a high traffic site or a blog or whatever, right? Attention is the asset. So we want to generate attention, and we want to be able to really take that and convert that attention into money. Well, YouTube will do that for you. YouTube will pay you per view, and it's a really sweet way that you guys can start to create scripts for videos using ChatGPT in order to build up a YouTube channel. And that's something actually one of our clients does. I did an interview recently for you guys with Dan Patrick, and Dan's a remote sales pro. He's killing it, like really, really dominating right now. And he's on a YouTube offer with one of our clients, Paul. Paul's amazing. If you guys do get interested in YouTube automation, I would definitely check him out. He's a real deal, and his results are pretty nuts. And he pulls back the curtain on everything that he's doing inside of their training program. But once you start leaning in and you understand, like, I'm going super bullish on YouTube, as you guys can probably tell. And that's why I'm doing a lot more of these live streams, is so that I can double down on YouTube. And the rationale behind that is that YouTube is right now basically the only platform that when I publish, it continues to deliver results over a long period of time. If I publish something on Facebook, it goes away really, really fast, unless I have a good offer sequence that's my highlight or a featured post. But for the most part, like, my posts on Facebook don't get any more reach or distribution once they're published. YouTube works very differently. So with YouTube, my videos can get me long tail traffic and consistently get me really good traffic. So with that, that's why I love YouTube. And the thing that YouTube, it just offers you the ability that once you publish something, it continues to be valuable, which that goes a long way, right? Like, how long or how consistent the returns of an asset are should determine the approach, or like should influence your investing decisions, right? So if YouTube as an asset, I have put in a certain amount of time to get a video done, if that asset's producing more over a long period of time, then it's worth it. So that's why I've been leaning into YouTube. It's just because it consistently gives me amazing, and it's like the highest quality traffic. And their AI is getting so good now that it just knows how to lock in on our exact ideal person and serve that content to them. And so as a result, the algorithm helps us feed and find the best people. Then with playlists, you can make it super bingeable and all that. But with YouTube, you guys can be taking ChatGPT to script out videos, which I've been doing already. I script a lot of my openers, I script a lot of the closes, I script the middle parts. And with Paul's system, they do something completely different where they have like paid voiceover actors, and it's all hands off, and that stuff's pretty cool. With the way I'm using it for our stuff is I'm actually doing a little bit of work with the video recording part, but I'm using ChatGPT as a way to help me create a lot more content faster, and to be able to script out these videos based on best practices too, because that's the beautiful thing. Like, ChatGPT went through all the data on the internet, and so it has pretty much analyzed a lot of the best practices, and when you guys learn how to give it the right prompts, it's pretty wild what it will spit out. And if you guys want, we can pull it up, and I'm happy to show you guys like a little bit of prompt engineering and stuff that I've been playing with as I'm using it. So if you do want that, just put a 1 in the comments if you're with me right now, and then we can get into that, and I'm happy to share my screen and kind of show you guys a little bit more like how to script stuff out. But once you guys start creating more video content with it, whether it's you actually on the video or not, and where this stuff's going is insane. I mean, between deep fakes and audio, like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard, like, certain people, a buddy of mine, Travis, the guy who runs Campaign Refinery, like I mentioned earlier, he took this lyrics about email and he made a Drake verse out of it. That's how nuts this stuff is. So, like, soon, with deep fakes and everything, we're not even gonna need like people in videos. And in fact, there's a company, I haven't tried this out yet myself, but there's a company that has like fake people that will record video content. So if you give them the script, it's a fucking avatar that looks like a real person. It's like the most mind-blowing thing ever, right? So you wouldn't be able to know it's not a real person that's on video talking about it, and then it's sharing it. And so you can have videos completely faceless without you at all and still grow a YouTube channel and just be completely behind the scenes, leveraging the power of AI and leveraging the power of ChatGPT. So that's one way that you guys can use it as well. I'm pretty pumped. Like, the possibilities on it overall are just mind-blowing right now. Like, it's mind-blowing. The fourth way is, if you guys ever have an idea for code, you can legitimately write code in ChatGPT. It's pretty mind-blowing, right? And so you can write small computer programs and you can then turn them into Chrome extensions. So building a Chrome extension is actually pretty easy, and you can take this software, you can publish it and turn it into Chrome extensions or little software tools that you could then sell. And that's another way that you guys can be using this. You don't need to code necessarily, because when you have ChatGPT, it can explain the code to you as well as it can help you write code for you. So let's say, for example, you have an idea of you want an application that scrapes data off of Facebook. Well, ChatGPT can give you an application that does that. If you want an application that would log into your Facebook and like the first 50 posts that it sees, you can create that with ChatGPT. So once you start creating these little applications for yourself, which I would recommend, right? Start creating little applications for yourself, start testing them, use code, start collecting your code. If you guys look at the big companies, you got to realize the big companies understand that they're not in one business, they're in 4 businesses. They have their core business that they actually are in. Then they're all data companies, technology companies, and media companies, right? Every company is actually those 4 companies at this point, because you have to be in order to remain competitive in this day and age. So they have a core product business unit, right? So let's say, for example, Apple, they in the consumer electronics business, that's their core business. They sell phones, they sell watches, they sell computers, right? Consumer electronics. Well, on top of that, they're also in the data business, and they know that they're in the data business. They're in the technology business, so they're inventing programs and applications, and then they're also in the media business, so they're publishing shows. They have Apple Music that's constantly putting content out. They have their own content production facility that they're creating movies, they're creating TV shows, and they realize that you have to create a lot of content in order to be competitive in this day and age. Even small companies are going to have to do it, and it's going to increasingly become the norm because more and more people are going to be doing it with these tools. And so just a one-man band, or if you're like if you're a solo, you're a freelancer, you can still produce now so much content that you would look on the internet like you are a mega company. That's what's crazy about this stuff. So it's really, really, really fun. Sweet. I see one of you guys on Facebook dropped a 1. And you want to pull up and do a little prompt engineering and stuff. So we can do that. I'm really pumped. So now, just quick recap. You got your 4 ways that you guys can leverage ChatGPT in order to now start to create passive income for yourself. So the first 2 ways are leveraging our ability to sell, right? So we took our sales ability and we started writing copy. The first way, we turn that copy into an email automation sequence or using autoresponders, and you can start to build little mazes. The way I like to look at that too is every email I write is worth $10,000. Right? If that email generates 1 sale in the course of a lifetime, every email I write is worth $10,000. And it takes me generally it used to take me like 30 minutes to write an email, but now I could legit write an email in about 5 to 10 minutes with the help of ChatGPT. So I can legit make like 5 to 10 grand in 10 minutes using ChatGPT because I'm writing an email that I'm adding to an autoresponder that's converting on my high ticket offers that are printing money for me, right? So that's the beauty of this thing. Then the second way we had was to take those as well, put them into stories, and then put them on your highlights. So when you're driving traffic to your Instagram account or whatever, or to your Facebook page, then you're able to take that traffic and convert it. And you're turning either these people into low ticket buyers, which is really cool because then you're just really getting money like completely automated and passive, or you're converting them into highly qualified leads, which, I mean, I'll even close a lot of leads over email the way I do stuff, like with certain offers, we'll have videos or documents, like I'll have a Google Doc that I'll send over email and close deals over email. And so that's really cool. That's a way that you guys can still close deals without necessarily getting on the sales calls. But if you want to just leverage it as a way to book qualified appointments too, that's totally awesome. The third way we had is building out YouTube automation. So starting to create content for YouTube, having a system to produce that content consistently, and then be able to get income off of YouTube by growing and scaling a channel. And then our fourth way was to build a SaaS, right? And so you can use ChatGPT in order to write code. You can launch that as a Chrome extension or a micro SaaS. You could charge a small amount of money. And even if you only charge $10 a month, right? But if you get 100 users paying you $10 a month, an extra grand a month, it's nice to have an extra grand a month, especially if it's pretty passive and it's just a Chrome extension that you really don't have to do much for. So with that said, let's rock. I'm going to switch over here and then boom, you should see the playground. Now, this is a little tip for you guys. I actually tried to pull up ChatGPT And you'll see here it says explain the status of ChatGPT as a pirate. We're at capacity right now. So a lot of you guys, I've heard people having issues, write 10 jokes about the status of ChatGPT. So sometimes it feels like it's almost impossible to get ChatGPT to work. So that's why I like to just go to Playground. So I use this domain here, beta.openai.com/playground. So you guys will need to create an account. I highly recommend you do. It's super cheap. Leveraging this don't think about the cost. Anyone who thinks about the cost and kind of scares themselves out of this game is missing huge opportunity. Okay, so now let's play with this, and I'm going to show you guys how we do it. What I'd like to do is, if possible, you guys give me a product or something that we can maybe write about together. If not, I'm going to start doing one, but if you guys put something in the chat, we can do a live example together too. And I think it's fun because it helps you start to look at how to creatively solve these problems, and they're really cool and interesting problems to play with and to solve. So let's say, for example, I want to write an email like what we talked about. Let's say write a promotional email That's crazy. It's actually pretty good. So, break free from the 9 to 5, make passive income that keeps on giving. Hey there, are you tired of being stuck in the same old 9 to 5 day job day after day? Well, there's an easy way to break free and make passive income. With passive income, you can take control of your finances and make money when you sleep. Imagine waking up each morning with an extra boost of cash in your pocket. Plus, it's more fun than the same old 9 to 5. Instead of spending all day at a desk, you can spend more time doing the things you love, like taking long walks on the beach or watching movies with your friends. Plus, you'll never have to worry about your boss breathing down your neck again. Ready to make a switch? Boom. That's pretty good. So maybe I'll make a few small tweaks to that, but damn, that's pretty good. And you might say, for example, if I wanted to update that, rewrite the email with this is nuts. And you just watch, it takes 2 seconds and boom, now I got an email. Again, I just take this, I put this into an email autoresponder, or I put this into an Instagram story, and it will convert. Maybe I make some small tweaks here, but even this is pretty freaking fire already. Now what I might do is, a lot of times the subject line is super important, right? So I'll say, write 15 subject lines that are similar to this one. This is crazy, right? So now I have all these different ways. So I could have a pain-based one, because escape the 9 to 5, or get out of the rat race. This hook might get someone a little bit differently. Make money when you sleep. It's a promise-based one. Unlock the power of passive income. These are great. This is pretty crazy. So that's just a couple examples. Let me just check real fast. I'm gonna switch back to the screen here and then see if you guys have anything in the chat that you guys want to potentially work out. Yeah, if they don't have AI in their tech stack, it's crazy. This is for this reason. I've definitely started scaling down the size of the teams with increasing results, which is the cool part. Like, we are getting bigger results with smaller teams as a result of leveraging AI and just leveraging more and more technology as a whole. So, like, you guys just saw how fast I was able to write that email. That's pretty nuts. Like, and so what if it costs you $1 to do that? You know, you can pay a copywriter $100 to write an email like that. Or you could go here, and in that case, like, it wasn't even $1. I don't even think that it cost me like 1 cent. It's probably a fraction of a cent, which is crazy to write. I wrote basically 15 headlines. I wrote 2 variations of an email. The second one I did like more, so I'd probably use the second one. But there were some elements out of both that were good. And it cost me less than a penny. That's nuts, right? Especially when you guys start thinking that your content is digital real estate. Right? Content's a digital real estate. So once you guys start creating content, you're putting those assets out there and you're starting to really build your portfolio of assets. And through that, like, the more content you have, the bigger you start to grow your ecosystem. One of the crazy things that starts to happen is you just don't even have nearly as many bills. Like, we get per year, like we get several $1,000s a year in free clothes or in free food. Like, we just get free shit from free food. Or for photo sessions, like, we don't pay for photo sessions anymore. All our photo sessions are completely free. So if we do photo sessions, my wife gets makeup for free. And all this stuff can happen because we invested in content and growing our audience. And so we're able to reduce our overhead as well by doing this. And so this is just like, the opportunity here is very obvious. I'm super excited about it. I would love to know if any of you guys want to go deeper. What questions do you have? What are some of the specific things that maybe you're wondering? I also would love to hear a little bit more about just in general, like, how much have you guys played with this stuff so far? What's been your experience with it? What are questions you're asking yourself as you're starting to get into it? But the big thing that I want to tell you guys is it comes down to the prompt design. Like, when you get really good at the prompt design, it gets you most of the way there. Like, those emails were pretty good just straight off the first one because the prompt was specific enough, and I told it, the pain and the desire, and I told it all the things it needed to be able to create a good promotional email. But prompt design is going to be a big factor, you guys. And so if you're selling and you're not learning how to design prompts right now, like, you're going to regret that decision in a matter of just months. Like, the sales reps that are leveraging this stuff right now are going to be the sales reps that business owners will keep in the long run. And the sales reps that are not leveraging this stuff right now are going to be the sales reps that will find it harder and harder to get a good opportunity. Because in the companies that hire that aren't leveraging this are going to be poor performing companies that are not getting the same types of efficiencies. So that everything's changing. Like, this is such a mind-blowing, revolutionary technology. It's really exciting to see how it all comes together. So with that, I hope you guys got a ton out of this video. I hope that you guys, if this was valuable, click the subscribe, give it a like, put a comment. If you're here on the replay, drop it the replay. I love to know that you guys made it all the way to the end. If you guys have any questions too, feel free to drop them in the comments on any of the channels that you guys are watching on. Moving forward, I just want to update you guys. So the game plan is to start doing live streams like this consistently every Tuesday at 12 p.m. We actually accidentally had a time zone issue, so we scheduled it for 11 today. But moving forward, we're going to be doing live streams consistently Tuesdays at 12 p.m. I'm really excited about this. So put this to use, play with it. Use the playground, especially if you guys are having trouble and you're finding that you're just not able to get access because ChatGPT itself is down. Go to playground, still get that, play with these prompts, start writing your email, start writing those headlines, get those stories out on Instagram, get those stories out on Facebook. Look, if you guys want to start writing code, start writing pieces of code to automate more stuff for yourself. This is really, really fun. We're so lucky to be alive at a time like this. This is like watching the internet come online back in, if you were like in the 1970s, or like watching personal computing happen in the 1970s, 80s. Like, it must have been such a magical thing to experience that and to see all the ramifications and repercussions of like just what's happened as a result of the internet. This is like that all over again. And like, between blockchain, smart contracts, AI, and like augmented reality, virtual reality, metaverse. Like, we are in just such a freaking amazing time to be alive. So I'm super grateful that we all have this opportunity. If you're not tapping into that opportunity, you will regret it in a matter of only a couple years, because things are just going faster and faster. All technological revolutions are moving quicker, and what that means is you have to learn faster. You have to be able to get up to skills faster. Otherwise, you're going to get left behind. So with that, play with this, make some money, go get it, change some lives, get it. I'd love to see you guys, and I look forward to seeing